Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video, I'd like to review a movie that I watched just last night. It's an Arrow title and it was made in 1971. It was directed by John Mackenzie and stars David Hemmings. And that movie is called Unman, Wittering and Zigo. How about that for a title? Yeah. Okay then guys, so this is a lovely edition here, by the way, a lovely slipcover, and there's the internal reversible artwork, yeah, and there's the back there packed with loads of special features, guys, yeah. Okay then, as per usual, before I say anything further about the movie and giving me thoughts on it as a whole, I'll just read you the blurb at the back just in case you're not familiar with it. I didn't know about it until it's seen advertised online, yeah. Okay, so Boys Will Be Boys in a scathing psychological thriller set within the hidebound but testosterone-charged confines of a remote coastal British private school, produced by and starring David Hemmings from Blow Up and Deep Red. Very, very fine actor, very, very underrated actor. Now, John Ebony, that's David Hemmings' role, is the idealistic young schoolmaster who arrives at Chantry School for Boys on his first assignments, employed to fill the shoes of his predecessor Pelham, who has recently been found dead at the bottom of a nearby cliff. Now, taking up residence in a cottage in the school's grounds with his restless young wife Sylvia, Carolyn Seymour, who you remember was in the Survivors, and she was also in one of the Steptoe and Son movies. Very fine actress. Ebony is eager to make a good impression, but immediately gets off on the wrong foot with his assigned pupils. Discovering the boys of class lower 5B minus the perpetually absent Zigo to be unruly and defiant. However, they might possibly know more about Pelham's demise than the school's headmaster and his fellow staff are letting on. Now, this was masterfully shot by cinematographer Jeffrey Unsworth, who shot 2001: A Space Odyssey, and was directed by John Mackenzie, who done A Long Good Friday. This is a film adaptation of Giles Cooper's classic play, and it's presented on home video for the very first time ever. Unman, Wittering and Zigo presents a scathing expose of the kind of environments from which British empires are born. So there you go, guys. That's a synopsis for this fantastic movie from 1971, starring David Hemmings. Yeah. Okay, and then, guys, on to my thoughts now on the movie as a whole. Oh, what can I say about it? Thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely fantastic movie from start to finish. If you like movies like Blackboard Jungle and Lord of the Flies, I think you'll have a blast with this movie. I certainly did. David Hemmings is fantastic in the role of the the new school teacher, and the boys really give him a hard time. Oh my days, they really give him a hard time. The defiance, the arrogance. They just you just can't discipline them at all. And when they start taunting them and that, taking the mickey out of them, basically, the tension starts to ratchet up. And then it really gets going when one of them says to David Hemmings, we killed Pelham. The teacher was found dead. They pushed him off a cliff. Of course, he's very shocked. David Hemmings' his character, when he learns this and that, and he goes to the headmaster, and he says about it and that, he says about the boy confessing to murder, and the headmaster's strangely dismissive and that, he doesn't want to know. So that makes you wonder, is he got something to do with the murder of this teacher, Pelham, But, oh yeah, and a lovely coloured movie as well, guys. Beautiful cinematography. It's really underrated movie, this, as I say. It's like it's a cross between Lord of the Flies and Blackboard Jungle. You don't really hate the pupils in this. They're very unnerving, they're very dark, very very mysterious and that, and it's good the way they sort of, like, when they're actually talking to Ebony, the teacher who David Hemmings plays, they sort of, like, one boy says something, then the other boy says something. It's as if they sort of, like, planned it so they don't talk over each other. So one boy might say something like, there's a note, sir, in your desk from the headmaster. Then another boy might say, aren't you going home, sir? Then another boy might chip in at the back, go on, sir. And it's like a sort of, like, a musical sort of, like, arrangement, really, in a strange sort of way. They've got this sort of, like, code between them, you speak and I'll speak, then you speak, then I'll speak, then he speaks. And that makes the atmosphere all the more, sinister and dark. Oh yeah, this is one of the best, if not the best, thrillers set in a boarding school I have ever seen. It's a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it. But then again, that's just my opinion. You've got to like these sorts of movies set in schools, so when to get the full enjoyment out of it. But David Hemmings, as I say, he's a very underrated actor. He's made great movies, Deep Red, movies like that. He's just fantastic. Eye of the Devil, but he's great in this as this school teacher, and his wife and that, like he sort of like moves into the cottage like by the school and that, and then the boys, like it really, the movie really goes down a really brutal path. Because the boys start eyeing his wife up, they looking at her legs and that when she's sitting there at one of the meetings and that, and they're whispering to each other, like, obviously coming out with, like, lewd remarks. So they get their attention focused on his wife, and the movie really goes down a very, very dark path, guys, They basically leading into the gymnasium, and they're all gonna, well, basically, they're gonna gang rape her, or try to, but I won't say any more about that. I'll leave that. But, if you haven't seen it, like, oh yeah, it's really very dark movie, this, guys, it really is, yeah. And I give this another one a watch in a couple of weeks with the commentary because I enjoyed it that much. David Hemmings, you really feel for him. He's trying to control this bunch of unruly boys in the school and that. A lot of them look like grown men. They don't look like boys and that, but of course you've got to sort of like tweak things to make the movie enjoyable and that. But it's a very dark movie, guys. Yeah, I enjoyed it and that, yeah. Okay then, guys, on to a rating now for Unman, Wittering and Zigo. No question at all. A full 10 out of 10. Full 10 out of 10. Because I really enjoyed this movie. It was gripping, it was tense, it was dark, the characters were good. You really hated the schoolboys, what they were doing on them and that, playing tricks on them and that, and taunting them and that, oh God, you just felt his anger and that. You wanted to just grab hold of them, bloody belt them and that, as anybody would, I mean, teachers have always had a hard job, but God, does David Hemmings have a hard job in this, controlling this class of, unruly lads and that, and they talk very, very posh and that, the lads. They're not sort of like, don't really talk like yobbos, effing this and effing that. Well, of course, 1971, the bad language was virtually non-existent in a lot of these movies and that, not as widespread as it is today, but very, very menacing, even, apart from that, the boys, you really hate them and that, the way they're carrying on. And as I say, you start wondering if the headmaster's in on it and that, because he's very, very dismissive, he doesn't want to know. He sort of like says to David Hemmings, so, you need to get back to your class and that, he's sort of like, he's all for school formality, as sometimes, officials usually are, and not just in schools, but in other kinds of jobs. This annoying conforming to formality and that, yeah, bit stuffy, yeah. But, oh yeah, this is a great movie, this, guys. And, and the girl who plays his wife, as I say, she was in The Survivors and that, and she was in one of the Steptoe movies, yeah. She's fantastic, she really is, yeah. So, thoroughly enjoyed this movie from start to finish. Yeah, fantastic movie, yeah. Yeah, Carolyn Seymour, she plays Sylvia, his wife, yeah. And she starts getting restless and that, when he starts like having trouble with the lads at the school and that, she's sort of like, yeah. Well, I won't go on too much about it and that. I'll let you see for yourself. It's a very, very rare movie. As I say, I first spotted it online and I thought, that looks good. Well, I'm a big fan of David Hemmings, you see. So a very, very underrated actor. Oh, and boy, does he play this role good, guys. As this put-up-on teacher in this sinister boarding school. Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I'll just show you the reversible artwork, guys. There you go. Menacing figures of the boys there, guys, yeah. It's a little reminiscence of the Michael McDowell movie, It, from the late 60s and that, where the public school boys rebelled against the teachers and that, rebelled against authority, and in the end they gunned them down outside the school one by one. It's very much in that sort of vein, and I say it's got the Lord of the Flies aspect as well. This, when all the boys sort of like they bond with a very, very sinister intention in mind and that, and they're whispering to each other and that, and how they taunt the hell out of poor David Hemmings, they really do, and he's basically on his own really, because he's not getting much support from the bloody hopeless headmaster and that, but oh yeah, I enjoyed this movie from start to finish, and if you like a movie set in English boarding schools with a creepy atmosphere, get yourself a copy of this, guys. I assure you, you won't be disappointed. I enjoyed every single minute of this. And David Hemmings, as I say, very, very underrated actor, and it is Carolyn Seymour there, guys, the girl that was in, who plays his wife, yeah. But, oh, yeah, it's, the way they terrorise her and that, yeah, but I'll leave it there anyway, yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed it and that, lovely setting, good cast, good solid cast, good story, and no soft antics and that, like you see in a lot of these school films and that, the teenagers acting, acting to go too much and that. They were very serious. Although they were unruly, they were very, very serious. And it leaves you, it does have a twist, by the way. It has a good twist, but I won't reveal any more about that. you know. There's one poor lad there in the class now, and they take the PISS out of him mercilessly because he's a kind of he's in the choir and that, you know, he's a little bit of he seems to be a bit of a wimp, and they bully him, they tease him, they give the poor lad hell, you know, yeah. But there you go, guys. That's my review of the 1971 British border school movie, Unman, Wittering and Zigo. Have you seen this movie? What did you think of it? Do you share my opinion? That's one of the best English border school movies ever made, you know, very, very tense, dark atmosphere, you know, and you really root for David Hemmings' character. Now, that's the strength of a movie. If you root for the character, you're onto a winner, you know, and this was actually based on a radio play as well, you know, it was written many, many years ago, yeah, so there's another interesting aspect there for you to digest, yeah, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one, Unman, Wittering and Zigo, yeah, a real roller coaster ride from start to finish. Alright then, guys, that concludes my review of Unman, Wittering and Zigo. The usual, if you like the video, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments. I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.